Our home planet is replete with natural phenomena that have challenged explanation and led to a whole lot of myth-making. Here is a list of places that can't be explained by scientists. Let's get started. Easter Island. Easter Island must surely be one of the greatest mysteries of human civilization. It's a tiny island in the South Pacific Ocean. Its closest inhabited neighbor is a Pitcairn Island, some 2,075 kilometers away. That's like Bucharest being London's nearest neighbor. Chile is the nearest continental landmass to Easter Island, 3,512 kilometers to the east, nearly 6 hours flying time. It is roughly 64 square miles of volcanic rock formed from a series of volcanic explosions. The highest point is Mount Teravaca, 600 meters high. Many theories have been formed over the years about where the original inhabitants came from, why they built hundreds of monumental statues called moai, how they transported them, and why the people who made them eventually died out. Despite much scientific research and investigation over recent years, there's still a lot we don't know. But here's what we do know about one of the most remote and intriguing communities in the world. Easter Island must surely be one of the greatest mysteries of human civilization. Many theories have been formed over the years about where the original inhabitants came from, why they built hundreds of monumental statues called moai, how they transported them, and why people who made them eventually died out. Stonehenge. For centuries, historians and archaeologists have puzzled over the many mysteries of Stonehenge, the prehistoric monument that took Neolithic builders an estimated 1,500 years to erect. Located in southern England, it is comprised of roughly 100 massive upright stones placed in a circular layout. While many modern scholars now agree that Stonehenge was once a burial ground, they have yet to determine what other purposes it served and how a civilization without modern technology, or even the wheel, produced a mighty monument. Its reconstruction is all the more baffling because while the sandstone slabs of its outer ring hail from local quarries, scientists have traced the bluestones that make up its inner ring all the way to the Presley Hills in Wales, some 200 miles from where Stonehenge sits on Salisbury Plain. Today, nearly 1 million people visit Stonehenge, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1986, every year. According to one long-standing theory, Stonehenge's builders fashioned sledges and rollers out of tree trunks to lug the bluestones from the Presley Hills. They then transferred the boulders onto rafts and floated them first along the Welsh coast and then up the River Avon towards Salisbury Plain. Alternatively, they may have towed each stone with a fleet of vessels. More recent hypotheses have them transporting the bluestones with supersized wicker baskets, or a combination of ball bearings, long-grooved planks, and teams of oxen. Many modern historians and archaeologists now agree that several distinct tribes of people contributed to Stonehenge, each undertaking a different phase of its construction. Bones, tools, and other artifacts found on the site seem to support this hypothesis. The first stage was achieved by Neolithic agrarians who were likely indigenous to the British Isles. Later, it is believed groups with advanced tools and a more communal way of life left their stamp on the site. Some have suggested that they were immigrants from the European continent, but many scientists think they were native Britons descended from original builders. The Great Sphinx of Egypt. The Great Sphinx of Giza is a giant, 4,500-year-old limestone statue situated near the Great Pyramid in Giza, Egypt. Measuring 240 feet, 73 meters long, and 66 feet, 20 meters high, the Great Sphinx is one of the world's largest monuments. It is also one of the most recognizable relics of the ancient Egyptians, though the origins and history of the colossal structure are still debated. A sphinx is a creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human, with some variations. It is a prominent mythological figure in Egyptian, Asian, and Greek mythology. In ancient Egypt, the sphinx was a spiritual guardian and most often depicted as a male with a pharaoh headdress, as is the Great Sphinx, and figures of the creatures were often included in tomb and temple complexes. For instance, the so-called Sphinx Alley in Upper Egypt is a 2-mile avenue that connects the temples of Luxor and Karnak and is lined with Sphinx statues. The most common and widely accepted theory about the Great Sphinx suggests the statue was erected for the pharaoh Khafre, about 2603 to 2578 BC. Hieroglyphic texts suggest Khafre's father, Pharaoh Khufu, built the Great Pyramid, the oldest and largest of the 3 pyramids in Giza, when he became pharaoh. Khafre constructed his own pyramid next to his father's. Though Khafre's pyramid is 10 feet shorter than the Great Pyramid, it is surrounded by a more elaborate complex that includes the Great Sphinx and other statues. Nazca Lines. Nazca, also spelt Nazca, groups of geoglyphs, large line drawings that appear from a distance to be etched into the Earth's surface on the arid Pampa Colorada, colored plain or red plain, northwest of the city of Nazca, southern Peru. They extend over an area of nearly 190 square miles, 500 square kilometers. Most of the Nazca Lines were constructed more than 2,000 years ago by the people of the Nazca culture, circa 200 BCE to 600 CE, though some clearly predate the Nazca and are considered to be the work of the earlier Paracas culture. While the images dated to the Paracas are often human-like and bear some resemblance to still earlier petroglyphs in the region, the subjects of the Nazca-made lines are generally plants and animals such as a monkey, a killer whale, a bird resembling a condor, a hummingbird, a pelican, a spider with various flowers, trees, and other plants, as well as geometric shapes, including triangles, trapezoids, and spirals. Although the figures have been said to be virtually indecipherable from ground level, some claim that one cannot understand their meaning without walking what are now believed by some to be the sacred paths. Longyun Caves. The caves were discovered by accident in 1992 when local farmers drained several ponds, revealing 5 large man-made caverns and 19 smaller caves. The 5 caves, independent from each other, measure between 18 to 34 meters, reaching heights of up to 20 meters with supporting pillars and distinctive shapes remarkably curved, with shaking imprints across the cavern walls and ceilings. After news of the discovery spread across China, it was first proposed that the caves were an obscure natural wonder, as the design and formation was completely distinct from other ancient caves, quarries, mines, or ceremonial caverns constructed in China throughout antiquity to draw a comparison. Upon further study, it was found that each complete cavern was only one portal, associated with a vertical shaft with a carved stairwell that allows rainfall and surface runoff to enter the caverns. To manage the water intake, a system of drainage troughs, some drainage channels, and a water trap was carved into the cavern base to collect the water. The caverns are also aligned along a south to southwest orientation, maximizing the use of sunlight to illuminate the interior, with inclined sidewalls that reduces the stress on the cave ceilings, preventing collapse. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in another video.